Chapter 3, Practice 2, Part A. For each situation, identify and label the base, the part, and the rate. So in order for you to identify them, you have to know what the element is. So how do you determine that? The base, let's put the base here, is usually known as the whole. That is the total amount. And usually the base is followed by the word of. The part is usually known as the portion of the base or of the whole. It is usually, not always, the smaller number of the two numbers or amounts. If the rate or the percent is less than 100%. If it's less than 100%, then the part is usually the smaller of the two numbers. It is usually next to the word is. Okay. The third element, see, the first and the second is the base and the part. Now, the third element is the rate. The rate is usually expressed as percent, or you see this symbol here. So those are the three elements. Again, base or the whole is the total amount. The base is followed by the word of. That's the usual number. On the other hand, part is the portion of the base. It is usually the smaller of the two numbers. If the rate or the percent is less than 100%. If the rate is greater, okay, if the rate is greater than 100%, the part is the greater number or the larger of the two. Okay. amount. Okay, let's get going. Let's look at number 1. Victor owes his uncle $1,000. Recently, he gave his uncle $200. The payment was 20% of the money he owes. So in this case, I am going to write like B for base, P for part, and R for rate. So which one is the base, which one is the part, which one is the rate, according to the reading? I want to look at the percent here. You see, the percent is less than 100. That means the base is the larger of the two. So the base in this case is, and the part is the $200. The rate is the 20%. Do you see it? Look at number 2. Let's find what is the base, what is the part, and what is the rate. On a test with 80 problems, Sophie got 72 problems right. In other words, she answered 90% of the problems correctly. Again, you see that 90% right here? That's less than 100%. That means the base is the larger number of the two. So 80 is the base, 72 is the part, and the rate is 90%. Number 3, the base, the part, and the rate. Now, the Kang family made a down payment of $2,740 on a new car. The down payment was 20% of the purchase price of $13,700. Now, look at the percent again. That's less than 100%. That means the base is going to be the larger of the two amount. So what is the larger amount? It's the $13,700. And the part is going to be the $2,740. The rate is 20%. Number 4, B, which is base, P, which is part, and R is for rate. Zoe's take-home pay each month is $2,000. She spends $500 on rent each month, which is 25% of her take-home pay. $2,000, $500, and the 25%. This 25% is less than 100%. So the base is going to be the higher amount. So that's $2,000. That's the base. And the part is $500. The rate is 25%. Look at number 5. The base, the part, and the rate. This year, Raphael has 60 regular customers, which is 150% of the 40 regular customers he had last year. Wow, 150%. That is more than 100%. You remember I told you here? If the rate, right there, okay, if the rate is greater than 100%, the part is the larger of the two amounts. Okay? So in this case, the base is going to be the 40, which is the smaller amount. The part is now the greater amount. And the rate is 150%. Number 6. Kayla bought a dress for $38. She paid $3.23 in sales tax. The sales tax rate in her state is 8.5%. Okay, let's find out. The base, the part, and the rate. So in this case, look at the rate. It's 8.5%, which is less than 100%. Therefore, the base is the larger number. That's $38 right here as the base. And the part is $3.23. The rate is 8.5%. Number 7. Misako's employer withholds 15%. That's less than 100% of her salary each paycheck for taxes. Misako earns $900 each week, and her tax withholding is $135. So the base is going to be the higher number, which is the $900. The part is the $135, and the rate is 15%. I hope this helped. For number 8, let's put the base, the part, and the rate. Harrison got a 10% raise, so 10% goes with the rate. And that's only 10%. That is telling you that the larger number is going to be the whole, or the base. Before the raise, his hourly wage was $10.70. So that is going to be the base. Now he earns an additional $1.07 per hour. That is going to be the part. Number 9, let's put B for base, P for part, and R for rate. Kim Industries has 800 employees. Of those, 200 workers, or 25%, work part-time. So 25% determines that the 800 employees is going to be the base. of those 200 workers is going to be the part. And the 25% is the rate. Number 10. In an election, 5,000 of the 12,500 registered voters actually voted. Only 40% of the registered voters actually voted. So 40% also determine which number is the base. So in this case, the base is going to be the 12,500. The part is the 5,000. The rate is 40%. I hope this lesson helps you to understand and identify the base, the part, and the rate. Questions 11 and 12 refer to the following information. A local newspaper printed the following high school basketball standings. Which of the following expressions could be used to find what percent of its total games Fairfax has won? Let's look at Fairfax. This is Fairfax. They win 9 and they lose 3. So how many games they actually play if they win 9 and lose 3? So we know that 9 plus 3 is going to give you 12 games played. So they played 12 games. Now go down to the question again. Which of the following expressions could be used to find what percent of its total games Fairfax has won? Okay, so for the information I just gave you, 9 plus 3 equals 12. Let's use those information. And in addition, we need to remember that to apply this formula here. So the 100% is going to be on the bottom right. The rate, which is the percent, is going to be right on top of the 100. And to the left of that, that's the reserve portion for the part. And right below that, it goes together with the 100. That's the base. Like I said, base is the whole. Okay, so now let's use that information again to solve for the question. Okay, let's put that one here. So remember the 100 goes here. Which of the following expressions could be used to find what percent? So we don't know what percent. Therefore, the percent symbol is right there. It's missing. Now, could be used to find what percent of its total. Total is 12. Put 12 under here. That is next to the 100%. Has won. Of course, we know that it's 9 right here. They won 9 games out of 12 games, but we don't know what percent. So they don't want us to solve for the whole thing. They just want us to express or do the setup only. So in this case, we are going to multiply. We are going to multiply the 9 by the 100. That's step 1. 9 multiplied by the 100 and divide by the 12. So what does this one look like to you on the A, B, C, and D? Don't it look like A? Yes, it's going to be A. Now move on to number 12. What percent of its games did Bravo win? Okay, let's erase Fairfax now. Now we are looking for Bravo. So Bravo is this one here. So with Bravo, they win 6 and they lose 6. So what does that tell you? You don't even have to do the work, and you just know that it's going to be 50%. What percent of its games did Bravo win? If they win 6 and they lose 6, that means they play 12 games, right? So they only gonna win 50%. So let's do that. 6 plus 6 total is 12 games. Now let's put that in formulas here. Remember, this is 100%, and we don't know what percent, but we know that they win 6 out of 12 whole games. And to solve for this problem here, we need to multiply the 6 by the 100. So step 1, for step 1, 6 times 100, you get 600. Now for step 2, you divide the 600 by the 12. Okay? So if you don't know what to do this. You remember 12 goes into 600. How many 12s in 60? That's 5 times. 5 times 12 is 60. Take away 60 from 60, you have 0 left. Now bring down your last 0. Now ask yourself, how many 12 in the last 0? That's going to be 0, 12 in there. So the 50 that you see here is the percent. That's why we chose D for this problem 12 here. For number 13, a jacket with a price tag of $128 is on sale on a rack with the following sign. The sign says, all items 25% off, marked price. Discount taken at register. By how much will the price be reduced when the jacket is taken to the register? So again, let's work that out here. You should identify first, the 128 is going to be the base. Why? Because you see the rate is 25%. So the rate is 25%. That means we don't know the part. So use this formula here. 100 goes here. The rate is 25%, goes here. And the base is $128. So we don't know the part. That's the X value. Okay, so in this case, we are going to multiply 25 times 128. That is step number 1. So let's put step 1. We multiply 25 by 128. And whatever that amount is, we need to divide that number in step 2 by the 100. Okay, now let's work out step 1 here. 128 multiplied by 25. 5 times 8 is 40. Write only the 0, carry the 4. 5 times 2 is 10. Plus 4 is 14. Carry 1. 5 times 1 is 5. Plus 1 is 6. Now we're done with the 5. Now go with the 2. So 2 is the second to the left here. 2 times 8 is 16. Write only 6. Carry the 1 on the top. 2 times 2 is 4. Plus 1 is 5. No carry. 2 times 1 is 2. So put 2 here. And then add up. I have 0. I have 10. Carry 1. I have 12. Carry 1. So I have 3 here. Now that is the answer for step 1 here, which is 3,200. Then step 2 said divide the answer of step 1 by 100. So I'm going to cancel out these 2 zeros. You see the last 2 zeros here? This one cancel with that. This one cancel with that. So at the end, I only have 32 left. That is $32 taken out at the register. So you should mark, or you should choose C for that. That's the end for this practice here.